just need to see myself live so that I know that we're here. All right. Now, Lisa Hester is our guest speaker tonight, and Lisa is a coach and an amazing woman whom I met. She'd been stalking me for a while, and you just don't know who's watching you, so you have to be professional at all times. And she connected with me, and we've had some amazing conversations. And I thought, what she does needs to be shared with lots more people. So I invited her to be a guest on Virtual Coffee Cocktail Conversation Hour. So Lisa, let's look at you and where you come from. And what you're going to be talking about tonight is monetize your gifts and create beautiful online brands. So just introduce yourself.
So I'm Lisa, and this is the hardest part because my camera is in front of me, but now you guys are all to the side, so I never know which way to look. So I will look at the camera. So I'm Lisa, and I've actually been in business for quite some time. I'm actually a qualified nutritionist. So I've been in the healthcare space for, probably 30 odd years. I'm giving away my age now in one capacity or another. But I always loved business, and I was in the corporate world in healthcare for many years, and then had babies and, ended up looking after my children. But that drive and the want and need to actually help women in that space, in the healthcare space, has never gone away. And so I've just kind of transformed over the years from one aspect of healthcare into another, and now I'm actually helping women to monetize their gifts and create beautiful online brands, because I love anything to do with creative aspects. So I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to Canva, and I get stuck in the Canva rabbit hole and don't come out for days. So I think it's really important, especially in this day and age with COVID, to be able to, do something different if you want to. We've all had to pivot our businesses, and there are a lot of women now who are wanting to start their own businesses and be financially independent, and that's really super important to me. I'm a single mum, so I understand the impact that being a single mum on your finances especially has, and so it's important for me to be able to teach other women how to create their own brands, and to, I have healers, and I have creatives and artists, and I work with anyone sort of in the realm of woo-woo, and I love it because it helps me to, develop my own spiritual gifts as well, and they don't think I'm weird, so that's a bonus as well. So yes, I've been doing this for a while. I did go back to work, not traditional 9 to 5 last year, and that was a bit of a disaster. I didn't cope well with being stuck at a desk. And when that ended, I just decided that was the universe telling me in no uncertain terms that I needed to get out there and share my gifts. And so here I am sharing my gifts. So yeah. Do you want to go down? Scrolling.
Keep scrolling.
No, it's not scrolling.
It's not scrolling. Hang on. Just let me move you. Yeah, there you go. There?
Nah.
Further down?
No, it's not moving at all.
It is moving.
No, not for me.
Isn't it?
No.
Not at all.
Nope.
Okay. It's at, maybe you should share your
Yep.
We'll do you, share your screen.
Do me. Why not?
Okay, go for it.
All right. Now I've got I should have got myself better organized. Don't you just love technology? I better not do that just in case I get rid of you. I don't want to get rid of you. Where are we? Documents. And downloads. Oh, presentation for Faye. Here we go. So you guys can all see that?
Yep.
Yep. All right. So yeah, so that's who I am. So I'm a coach, a speaker, an author. I do have a degree in nutritional medicine, and I recently completed my NLP practitioner certification, which it just blew me away. It actually brought together every single thing I've ever done in my whole entire life and just completely made sense of, you know, why we think the way we do and the language that we have and why we have limiting beliefs. And, you know, a lot of the women that I work with, especially in the healing space, there's this whole thing around, you know, not charging because you're a healer. And we really get stuck in that. And so I even remember when I was studying nutrition, one of my lecturers was a really like top-notch naturopath with all these degrees, but he was always poor because he just never, he wanted to give all the time. And you know, it's great to be able to give, and that's, you know, obviously we've got that in us, but you need to be able to create a sustainable business and have consistent money coming in. So then you can help more people. And yeah, so that's what I've been doing traditionally, helping women to monetize their gifts. How I do that is through helping them shine online. So Bree is one of my clients, and she suffered from terrible postnatal depression, had a really bad panic attacks and anxiety. And as she came out of that, she really wanted to be able to help other women. So she went off and completed her anxiety, and there's some sort of certificate that she did. When it came to putting herself out there, though, to get clients, it was a really big ask for her. And so we just sort of started off slowly. We started off with her business page. She'd created a bit of a following and had like a little blog going. And so we really just created a bit more clarity around that and what she wanted to say. And we started by addressing a few of her, like, you know, aesthetic things, like creating a really lovely logo and branding and colors and fonts and all of that sort of stuff, because it has to be aesthetically pleasing, but it also has to be an extension of who you are as a woman as well. And so she put her first blog out on her business page and was so nervous about it. And then she actually got such an amazing response that it helped her to be brave enough to put it out on her personal page. And she was just blown away. And like, it's literally just kept on going. It's morphed into, now she's just signed on her first client. She's created her own signature system, which I've helped her do. And she's now running her first event. And she just messaged me today and she said, oh my God, I've got my first client, you know, my first paying client. And like, it's just really exciting to have that happen for her and to see how far she's come in a very short space of time. Like, we've been working together for 3 months. So, you know, going from a woman who was petrified of what people might think of her, and I think that that's quite common. We do tend to think that, but to the response, the perfect, beautiful response that she's been getting. And yeah, so she's just going from strength to strength now, and everything. Yeah, it's just wonderful. I feel kind of selfish, like, because I get so much out of it when people actually, you know, create change like that, because it's not always about money. You know, it can often, you know, be around just stepping out and being brave and putting your face out there and being more consistent in your advertising and your marketing. Facebook has changed. I mean, I don't know if any of you have noticed, but since the beginning of COVID, all of a sudden, you know, everyone's getting more and more Facebook friend requests. My personal page went from like 500 to almost 5,000, literally in 6 months. So there is definitely been some changes in the algorithm. So what I help women who are in business to show up consistently, you know, create a profile that shows who you really are, and to be able to utilize the Facebook algorithms and not get yourself put into Facebook jail. Some people get put into Facebook jail. It's not about, you know, selling or anything on your Facebook personal profile. It's about creating authority and being seen as the person, you know, and a real person, not just because it's your shop front now. most of us don't have shop fronts. I work from my office. So this, Facebook is my shop front. So being able to share myself in an authentic way to create that connection with other women and helping them to create their own brands. You are the brand, and social media can be a really great platform, but to show off in a authentic and congruent way so that the energies are aligned and you're calling in clients who really, align with your message. 51% social media penetration since August. So regardless of whether you're utilizing Facebook or not, or any of the other platforms, it's 51%. I mean, there are millions and millions of people using these sorts of platforms now. So it is, if you're not doing it, then there's definitely a space to be able to lift your game as far as your marketing is concerned. And I like to look at all aspects of marketing. There's room for everything. So we have digital marketing, we have traditional marketing, and then we have what I'd like to call the X factor. So digital marketing is basically, anything that's digital, so anything that is online. You've got, email sequencing. If you've got a customer relationship CRM management system, I tend to use MailChimp. It's really easy. I don't want to get into the logistics of all of that now, but certainly, social media can be a really, really good point to get your message across when it's done in a succinct way and authentically. People are still really savvy though. So I think all of us have received messages from, other businesses, or it could be even a bot. I don't use any of those, but, saying, do you want to, I even had one the other day, yesterday. I had accepted a friend request from someone. He, within, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes, has sent me a voice message to say, he was in the weight loss industry and did I need to lose weight, basically. And he had this product, that he was, or did I know anyone? And it was just the wrong right way to go about it. That's not what we do. You create connections with people through digital marketing. You don't just go and, we have a bit of a joke about this, and I hope no one's offended, but we joke about taking people to bed too soon, and you have to warm people up. You don't just sort of jump straight from no first date straight into bed. You create relationships with people who you authentically and genuinely want to get to know and feel that you can help. So yeah, he got deleted fairly quickly. There's still room. I still think there's room for traditional marketing. Like, going to one of my clients in Connecticut, actually, I was talking to her this morning. She is a shadow worker, so she works in the shadow realm. And she's just taken a big leap and decided to quit her job. She was an emergency worker, like a dispatch, like I'm assuming it's like 911, 000, whatever that is, and 911. And yeah, so she is one of like a dispatch worker. Well, she gave notice. She just went, you know what, energetically, it's really draining. So she decided to jump all in. So one of the traditional marketing methods for her, where she goes and does meditation, they actually have a room. And so we were having this conversation, and I had said to her, this is how I get a bit woo-woo sometimes. I said, I just got this thing that there's a job out there, like there's something for you for about 3 days, like it's 3 days worth. And she went, oh my God, this is that. And then she told me the story about how she has, where she does meditation, there's a room, it's really cheap rent. She was considering going in there for 3 days. And I'm like, yes, that's it. So that's gives her an opportunity to see people actually in person, one-on-one. She's also running a course as well, which she's just starting to launch. But she can create her own pamphlets. So there's always room for a bit of both. I think at the moment, though, because of COVID, it is restricted in your traditional marketing, because we don't have shop fronts. The X factor is probably my favorite. This is about creating authority. and as Faye alluded to before, people buy from people, so it is really important to create authority in your business. And you do this by being congruent, by showing up, getting good, really great testimonials. If you're not currently using any kind of digital marketing and Facebook or Instagram, whatever platform where your people are, then it's really important to put yourself out there if you're wanting to boost your followers, or just start conversations with people, because we do buy from people. So, and the other thing is to be congruent. Like, no one wants to, no one's going to do a money makeover with some guy who's broke. Like, it's really important to, whatever you are doing, to actually live that life. And for me, being congruent means showing up consistently on social media, having beautiful branding of my own. Like I create all my own presentations. I do all of my, if you later on, if you're interested in have a look at my my pages, then you'll see, my branding is all very creative, but it's also very clear, and I use the same sort of fonts and colors and all of that sort of stuff. So just be congruent. When you're working with people, get testimonials. I think that's probably been one of the biggest factors for me, is working with people, getting testimonials, because I want to help people. I want to help people to shine. And if I can help, one, then I help the family, and it just keeps growing, which is what I really love. I love that ripple effect. Branding, is a reflection of you. So if you're like, clearly my favorite colors are pink. Most of my branding is in pink tones, pinks and grays. I use the same sort of font all the time, and it then brings consistency through all of my platforms. You can go to my Insta page, you can go to LinkedIn, you can go to any of my Facebook profiles, and you'll see it's all the same. I have beautiful photos done. If you haven't got high-res images, I highly recommend you go and get some, because having those images means that you can have your face blown up and be behind Faye. So, and things like that. One of my clients actually is an artist, and she creates beautiful handmade jewelry. And she was recently featured in a magazine, but unfortunately, because she didn't have any high-res photos, her face isn't in the magazine. So her business is, but her face isn't. So definitely having those sorts of images are really, really important. Understand your following and know where they are. Like, you don't have to be on every single social media platform. Just start with one. And once you've mastered that platform, then you can use that platform to actually leverage off into the next platform. I think probably one of the biggest lessons I've learned is that you don't have to be on all of them. I've had a couple of clients now, and they're like on Facebook, they're on Instagram, they're on LinkedIn, they're on Twitter, they're on Pinterest, they're on YouTube. It's too much. It's too much to try and absorb all at once, and it's too much to try and what am I? They've got like two Instagram profiles. Just have one. Just have one Instagram, one Facebook. Your personal page, your business page, and then maybe a group. Manage that, get used to that, build that, and then move off into the next one. So I've literally got Facebook and Instagram. I mostly work with Facebook at the moment, and I've got my Instagram page is just kind of chugging along. I get people coming on there, but once I'm at capacity with Facebook, then I can move to the next one as well. Mindset is everything, and it's as I've done NLP and brought that into it, it is imperative. Like, it is the missing piece of any business, because it's your mind that will let you down long before your will or your body. It's the same with exercise, running a marathon. Your mind will give up way before your body does. So what I now do with my clients is actually incorporate mindset into the program. So I have a 12-week program where we go through all of the fundamentals of business and social media and branding, but mindset is a really big component of that, because what I found was I can teach all the techniques, but unless they, you know, these ladies have the mindset around being seen, being comfortable being seen, being comfortable telling their story, and sharing their life in pictures and everything, then it's really hard to move forward. So mindset is actually comes in as number after our initial session. It's the mindset stuff, and that's where the NLP practice comes into it. So NLP, like I said earlier, it's literally been the thing that has just made sense. Like all of everything that I've ever experienced brought into one. I'm actually going to be doing my master's next year. I loved it so much. And the results I've had from my clients doing the timeline therapy is just astounding in a really short space of time, very gentle process. And, you know, we start off with managing anger, and we've sort of worked through into, you know, a few other areas. But yeah, it just makes perfect sense to me as to the importance of putting mindset right up high. You know, there's no point in going through all the strategy stuff first and then getting to the mindset, because they've kind of gone through 6 to 8 weeks of strategy, and yes, they've completed some components of it, but their heart's not in it. They don't feel aligned with it. So the mindset stuff really is helping to shift any of those self-limiting beliefs that they have. And that's where you start to get the really beautiful results, and then you get the snowball effect. So it just keeps moving forward. So yeah, so basically that's it from me. If you would like to follow me, you certainly can. Everything's just Lisa Hester Coaching, so it's super easy. I'm on Facebook as Lisa Hester Coaching, Instagram, you can follow me, you can email me. I am on LinkedIn as well. I don't like, it's there because having those sort of especially LinkedIn leads into authority, and having, you know, a following and everything. But it's the next sort of step. So for me is to do some more work on LinkedIn. But yeah, that's pretty much me in a nutshell. You know, I really love what I do, and I certainly have increased my capacity through COVID, which has been really great to see, because a lot of women are now coming out of it going, you know what, I actually want more. I don't really want to go back to the office, and it's just time. A lot of women were coming to me saying, I just feel stuck, and so I unstuck them, and we move through and we create beautiful brands together. So yeah, that's me.
Beautiful. If you stop sharing your screen.
There we go.
Fabulous. Anyone got any questions at all? I'm sure someone must have a question that they would like to ask of Lisa. No, just unmute yourself if you do.
I found it very interesting that I feel like it's almost a brave person these days that says, I'm engaging with Facebook. You know, like so many people go, Facebook, that's so yesterday. You've got to do this and this and this. And I go, you're kidding me, right? I'm only just figuring out how to work Facebook, and now I'm getting told I got to go somewhere else. So I must say, I found that very refreshing. Do you just engage with Facebook, just like, as you say, turn up, be consistent, keep on brand? Or do you also look to the whole digital marketing, paid sponsor ads, all that sort of thing?
So I find it interesting that the word you used was brave, because I have a little 4-week boot camp, business branding boot camp called Brave. Because you're exactly right. It is about being brave. Yeah. And that was one of my little woo-woo moments that came to me. I was out in the garden and I went, brave. They just need to be brave, you know, and actually share their message. Everything I do is organic. So I don't do any paid ads. The thing with Facebook, and depending on your demographic, so for older people like myself in my age bracket, it's Facebook. It's if I'm looking at my children, like my 14-year-old, he's on Instagram. So it's really important to actually know who your niche is, who you're working with. because then it becomes appropriate. One of my other ladies, she works with professionals, so hers is LinkedIn. So, you know, it's just about picking one, whatever one is appropriate for you. Now on Facebook, I post generally once a day, but I have a strategy around how I post. And, you know, and sometimes, like I did a post yesterday, it was literally just a question, and it was around, you know, it was just like a postcard post. Now, postcard post is when you're actually, it's not a photo or anything. It's just, you know, when you go to write in Facebook, you can pick a color.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's called a postcard post. So this was a postcard post, and all it said was, what would you happily teach for free? And I think currently there's over 100 comments on there. So this is the impact you can make just by, you know, creating a little bit of suggestion, controversy. However, I've done a post, which is like I call a problem solving post tonight, just before I came on. So I haven't looked at it yet, but I've already I can tell people have liked it and commented. Then I do, you know, other posts around my story. So because I think your own personal story is really powerful. You know, I've gone through a lot of stuff. That's not to say that you have to have had a horrible life to be able to create some sort of, you know, legacy and impact. It can just be as simple as you were, you know, you had this amazing career and everything was great, beautiful husband, beautiful family and everything, but something just felt off and you decided to make a big change. It doesn't mean that you're, you know, that the whole world fell out and everything went wrong and you know, you picked yourself up out of the gutter, and like, your story is your story, so it's going to be powerful. It's just a matter of sharing it, and then the people that need to hear it will hear it. So, but it is about being consistent, not you can't just post for a whole week and then disappear. You do need to, you know, be consistent and post. There's other tricks that you can use. You can milk a post, you know, just simply by deleting the comment and re-commenting, and that will put it back up into the feed. There's all little tips and tricks that I teach. So posting at certain times.
It's interesting what you say there, Lisa, and I've been watching your posts and they're real. So it's what you do is showing the real you so that people will connect with you, and that's what's really important, showing the real person and not giving just the information about what you do. It's sharing who you are and what you do.
Yeah.
And people connect, as I always say, people connect with people, not what you do.
Yeah.
And creating that realness is a really important part of any of the social media platforms that you use. And Sheridan, who is, she says, well said, but she is also very well versed in how to use social media platforms. And I think you two need to connect and have a conversation, because I think you two could play off each other with what you're actually talking about now. So I reckon that you two should have a conversation, because there could be some great stuff come out of that for everyone. Yeah, it's just, you know, really important that when you put yourself out there on social media platforms, that it's not a mask that you put up and pretend that you are someone that you're not. It is actually putting yourself out there as who you are and portraying what you actually do as a passion and a realness. It's not the facade that people want to see. They want to see the real person. And yeah, so, you know, anyone got any more questions or any comments that they would like to make?
I just wondered, Lisa, do you mainly do things on a public Facebook page, or do you have a closed Facebook group that you use? Because I'm seeing
Yep.
a lot of people are using the groups quite powerfully as well.
They are, yes. And so I think the thing with Facebook is, though, that the platform is not ours. So all of the clients and your connections and everything, they're not yours. So for me, it's about getting people actually into the groups and then offering them, you know, the opportunity to go onto my mailing list, because then that's mine, you know.
Yes.
And so that's a really important thing, because somebody else in one of my other masterminds was saying that their videos have disappeared, like from you know, I run a lot of things in private Facebook groups, and some of their videos have disappeared. When you're working with Facebook, you are at the whim of Facebook. So you have to be aware of that. It's not a platform that's going to be there forever in its current, like, they're always changing it. It's a pain, like, even as far as the dimensions of your banner and things like that change. So yeah, so what I do is I treat my personal page basically as my shop front, although I don't sell directly on my personal page. But I invite women to come. I have a private Facebook group called Successful Women Online, and we go in there. Now they then get the opportunity. I'm a bit like Faye. I like to give women an opportunity to, you know, come out from the shadows in a safe space. So I have different theme days, and they can promote their businesses, and, you know, we can connect and all of that sort of stuff. And that's sort of my legacy, I guess, that I'm trying to create. I'm really passionate about, you know, investing time and effort into women, but that's in a private group. And so, yeah, so they feel free to talk, and it's been beautiful, actually, because I've had a few women who are really, really timid and quite scared to actually put themselves out there. They're not, you know, really struggling with that, but they feel more comfortable in the group because, you know, they know it's closed. They know their mum or dad or whoever, ex-husbands, aren't going to see it. But yes, I definitely encourage everyone to actually get off and have their own mailing list, because you just never know. I know plenty of people who've been put in Facebook jail and have lost all of their contacts and have to start again. And I mean, you know, that's a bit of a pain. I also try really hard not to get too sucked into the vortex of Facebook. Because it can be one of those things that you're forever scrolling on, and that's not good for you either. You know, a lot of people do unfortunately take it to heart. And so if you're in a position where you're feeling a bit vulnerable and you're seeing somebody else who seems to be doing fantastic, that can be detrimental. You know, I think everything's balanced. Really.
Now, Diana had a question as well. Diana, you had a question?
I was just going to vouch for what you've said about Sheridan. I've got a number of companies and a number of businesses and very strong branding and so on. And Sheridan looks after all my various social media platforms. Faye looks after YouTube channels and things like that. And they work really brilliantly as a team together. But
yeah,
so for anyone that, such as Joanne saying, you know, we've got to keep up with all these different things. We don't got to do it ourselves. It doesn't interest me in the slightest. I'm not a Facebook fan, as in getting on there and spending my time. So you find someone who's good at it, and then you just, you know, let them do their thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And collaboration is really important as well. And you know, like I've just literally had two women, one who's really good at Instagram. Now I like Instagram, but it's not really my jam. And so she's going to come on board and run a little event in my Brave program. So, you know, it makes me look good because all of the women that are in the program are going, oh, wow, this is amazing, you know. And I've got a graphic designer who did all of my graphics and created the palette for everything. And so she's going to come and do a talk as well. So it's really important to, you know, offload the stuff that you don't like, get somebody else to do it, because you just, even if it's a VA, you can hire a VA, you can go through, a broker and get VAs now if you're not sure about the process. It is a little bit more expensive to do it that way, but you can actually do it. And I've got a VA and she's fabulous. And so she does a lot of my customer nurturing, my chat sequencing, all of that sort of stuff. She reaches out to, my new contacts and sends them a welcome message. And it's all about touch points. Everything is about touch points. We need about 17 touch points before traditionally people will buy from you. So, you have to be seen. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. And it's the way you've seen too, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
And asking for that help, or getting those people that have the strengths that you don't have, because we don't have strengths in every area. So we therefore need other people to help us do the things that we do.
Yeah.
And it's collaborating and joint ventures and partnerships and all sorts of things that can happen with other people. You've just got to find those people that you can actually trust.
Yes, that's the hardest part.
Yeah. And it is a trust factor that you can find people that you can work with, and they will do the right thing by you and you will do the right thing by them. And it's really important to, believe in yourself and know that you're on the right path and you're focused in doing what you do, and because you do it well.
Yeah.
It's just something that it doesn't flow naturally for some people. And so therefore they need that nurturing to find that balance and that focus.
Absolutely.
And there's all these people on here now that can do all sorts of different things for those businesses out there to support them. Sheridan can do their copyright. Michelle can do their websites and design and all that sort of thing. There's Kitty who can look at their health and their well-being. There's Julie who can look at their, their holistic approach to life through hypnotherapy. There's Sam who does her beautiful reflexology. And Carol, who actually will promote you and put you on television and give you, if you're in the perspective of television on Channel 33 and Channel 41. And she does segments for older adults whom actually brings out the perspective of what people in 50 plus can do in life. It's not about once you turn 50 or 60, you don't just stop living. You actually can go out and kayak, you can climb Kilimanjaro, you can do anything you like. It just depends on what you want to do. So what she portrays is she puts together these beautiful, amazing TV programs and shares what people can actually do with their life. It's not over at 70. 70-year-olds can go and do amazing things. So, it's all about the perspective and the perception that you perceive of people and business and life that creates that excitement. And it is exciting because we all have a gift and we all have to share that gift. And it doesn't matter. Some people will take you on board and some people won't. It doesn't matter. Those people that need you will find you. And so any other questions that anyone has? No questions?
Oh, I might ask a question. Instagram typically used to be for under 25s. And I'm working in the over 50 market, and now there's another whole massive segment on Insta now that's in the over 50 market. So the demographic is obviously changed with Insta, and like a lot of people have now jumped on. So what would you say is the main demographic for Insta now?
Well, the teenage market, the 14-year-olds, they're the ones that are always that sort of 14 to 18, and TikTok.
And TikTok, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't really use Instagram. Instagram changed when it was taken over by Facebook as well. It's very it's a much harder platform to get any, like you used to be able to build a following really easily on there, and now it's much harder. So, but yeah, if you want Instagram, I have one of my clients, Mim, she's an Instagram freak.
Yeah, I've left it alone for now. I've got,
yeah,
and I'm Facebook. There's 20 odd million people over 50 on Facebook.
Facebook's definitely the platform that I would suggest for you. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Definitely.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And it was interesting actually, just sorry, Faye, like even just one of my clients wants to work with the teenage, the in-between, and so she was kind of like, well, how do I run groups, because they're not on Facebook? So she's had to reassess how she's going to utilize the different platforms. So for her, she's actually going to go onto TikTok more, like, because her children are involved in the business. And that's another thing too that I think is really important to mention. When you're in business, everyone in the family needs to be in the business as well. Everyone needs to have some sort of accountability and be a part of it, because I see a lot of women who really, really want to do something, but then, it's just one more thing for them to have to do. And it's not about that. Everyone needs to be on board. And, one of my clients, Bree, the one that was in the thing, she was saying, like, it's harder for, like, her hubby was sort of saying, who's cleaning the house, like, who's doing this with the children, who's going to cook dinner, and I just said, it's not just you that has to do more stuff. Like, everybody needs to have some sort of sense of ownership of it. And like for me, being a single mum, my boys have to, like, my eldest boys cook dinner tonight, and the other ones unpack the dishwasher, and it doesn't have to be much, but it means that I don't have to go out and do it after being here. I'm really surprised that they haven't interrupted, actually, because usually the little one goes walking past, or the cat or the dog. It's a bit like a zoo in this place. But yeah, that's knowing who you want to work with, really nutting down your niche is probably one of the most important things, because once you know who your niche is, then you know what platform to work on, and then you can really focus on one thing at a time. And then, as things change, so do you. Our businesses are pivoting all the time. You have to be. You just have to.
Yeah, it was interesting you saying about Insta, because going teenagers, because when I checked it out for the 50 plus demographic, there's all these people on there. They got 200,000, 500,000 followers in the 50 plus market. So they're still getting to that niche. Yeah,
absolutely. But I think Insta's a bit harder. You have to be a lot more strategic and spend a lot more time on Instagram, actually, DMing people and inviting them, and like, there's a lot more, I feel anyway, a lot more nurturing that needs to be done on Instagram.
I'll leave it alone.
Whereas I feel on Facebook, people, especially in COVID, it's really opened up, and they've obviously changed the algorithm with that. Like, to go, I literally have put 4,500 people in 6 months on my page. That's unheard of. So to do that, it just, like, I literally can't keep up with friends now. So I have to delete them. I haven't even friend farmed. Like, you can do friend farming as well. So, and go in and actually strategically, find people who are in your target market. I haven't even done that, because I'm still trying to get through all my friend requests. But you have
bad thing though, is it?
Well, it is and it isn't. So it's at the beginning it was kind of fun, but then you get quite a few weirdos. I've been asked to would I marry them plenty of times. I've had lots of wedding proposals.
it's quite
from both women and men, I will add. So whatever floats your boat. But yeah, look, I try really hard not to take myself too seriously. Like, I take my business really serious, and I show up like if we were to meet in public, this is it. You'll recognize me because I'm the crazy blonde lady. But yeah, it's I think that the biggest message I could give you is to know your niche, know what platform they're on, and then just be real. Just be real and show up and share your message. That would be probably my 3 biggest takeaways for sure.
Beautiful. Now, how can they get in contact with you, Lisa?
So like I said, all my platforms are Lisa Hester Coaching. You can just like find me on Facebook, Lisa Hester, and I'll accept all of your friend requests. I promise. I won't knock you back. And yeah, but everything's just Lisa Hester Coaching. It's nice and simple on Instagram and on Facebook. Or you can send me a message, hello@lisahestercoaching.com. So, and I did that so that I would remember more than anything.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Lisa.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Right. No more questions. Anyone have any more questions? No? Beautiful. Thank you everyone for your participation tonight, and those on Facebook that are viewing it. And I'm Faye Waterman. This is Virtual Coffee Cocktail Conversation Hour. We'll be back next month, the first Thursday in the month, with another guest. So I'll keep you posted who that is. In the meantime, go out, do what you do, and create magic for those people that you want to create magic for. And thank you so much for your time.